Now in this video, I want to show you a couple ways that you can change the rate of the rate that your video plays and change the duration of it by adjusting the clip speeds. And there's two ways you can do it. So let's bring our video in here, and you'll see here that my video, click yes there to convert it to our size. My video goes to about 10 seconds, 3 frames, something like that. Now let's say you wanted this movie to play out to 15 seconds. Well, there are a couple of ways you could do it. Okay. You can grab, the easiest way probably in the editor here is to go to the rate stretch tool. Kind of looks like a backwards S with two arrows on the ends, right? The rate stretch tool. So you grab that, you go right to the end of your clip, and you just drag this thing out to about 15 seconds, right? So now if you look at it, it didn't look like it pulled it out, but if you look at the timeline, now we're at 15 seconds right here. Okay, so now it'll play out to 15 seconds if you watch along the timeline there. And notice there it slows it down too in the process. And just to show you, I'll play the original here in just a second. So you see how it's going out to 15 seconds here. Now if I hit Control Z, that'll take us back to the original. Okay, so when you do that, you lose a little bit of speed. Notice here it's playing a little bit faster. That's the original at 100%, right? So again, if I grab the rate stretch tool and drag this out, let's even go to 25 seconds, let's say. Now watch it at 25, you should see it much slower. So you can really see a difference, especially at 10 frames a second. It's much choppier. So there's a point where you can overuse the rate stretch tool. But you can see that it plays much slower there. So if I undo that. Now another way to do it is just to right click on the clip itself. So we're in video 1. Right click on it. Go up to speed duration. Okay. Here you can drop that down. If you want it to play longer, have a longer duration, it wouldn't play at 100% speed, right? You play it at, let's say, 85% speed. Now that moves it up to 12 seconds. Okay, you can see now it's playing a little bit slower, but it's still a pretty good pace. Okay, that's about 12 seconds, 1 frame. Now let's try it with the rate stretch tool. Just grab this. Let's drag this out to about 12:01 or 12:07, I think is what it ended up being. So you can see it kind of does the same thing. So you can accomplish stretching out your movie if you're short a few pictures and you want to make this thing go out to 5 seconds. You can use the rate stretch tool on the timeline here, or you can right click and change the speed duration. Now if I'm doing this, let's go back to 100% here. That's our original file here. The only thing I might want to change is in the end, they move kind of slow as they head back to each other. So maybe about right there is where I'll start. So what I'll do is I'll grab my razor tool and slice it right here. And then take this clip and speed it up here at the end. So I'm going to grab my rate stretch tool here. Click on this second clip and then just drag this rate stretch in. And what that's going to effectively do is speed up that clip at the end. Okay, so here it's playing at normal speed. And there it speeds up a little bit. If you want to keep that going, you can grab it again and do the same thing. Now it's going to be extreme. Watch. Okay, so we're playing at original speed. With the rate stretch, I shortened the amount of time that this clip needs to play. So you can see it's much faster there, maybe even too much, right? So here what we can do is go down to the bottom here, use our timeline zoom, and zoom in on that, and then drag it in a little bit shorter, maybe like that. and then just scrub it and watch it. That looks pretty good. And then also what we could do if we want to extend out the end is go to the very last frame right here, zoom in, slice that frame, okay, and then grab our rate stretch tool and have that last frame play a little longer so it doesn't just end so abruptly. So watch now. Here's the original speed. Then it speeds up a little bit right here when they separate. And then it stretches out a little bit longer there. And again, if that's not enough, you can just keep your rate stretch tool here. Drag that thing out. So now when you watch the last frame, it sits there for a second. Okay, let's watch it one more time. Perfect. Okay, so the rate stretch tool can be used to stretch out a single frame. It can be used to stretch out the entire video sequence. And it can also be used to contract the entire or restrict the entire video sequence so it must play quicker. But that's what the rate stretch tool does, or changing the clip's speed and duration does.